Hello YouTube, Jared here again with the first update of my Tau restoration project. So, I have, as you saw in the previous video, a large lot of Tau that were compiled from several other lots and then I was able to buy, and I am trying to fix these poor guys up. They are in very rough shape. Many of them are primed in this purple color. Many of them are missing little bits and bobs that have fallen off, like this guy's foot and an arm pad. And many of them, I'm not quite sure what's going on with them. But I have just started the process of removing primer. And a few of them, like this guy right here, have come out great. I've gotten this piece back to gray. And I got one of the purple guys, and he came out just like this. And I was able to find out that there was actually another paint job under the purple, but then he was able to come out pretty clean. So that one worked well. For the failed primer job, this has so far been a little bit more stubborn. So first pass through, you can see there's progress, but not as good as I want. So I'm going to probably test another product. I'm doing the isopropyl alcohol right now. But these guys might need something a little bit more tough, and then they might need to sit for a lot longer because I've let them sit for a few hours and it hasn't done very much. But pretty much the entire lot of failed prime job look like this right now. Few of them have lost heads and weapons, and arms have popped off, and so a lot of them are going to need a lot of regluing. The other thing I've been doing is I've been taking this devilfish, and as I've been kind of rubbing it down with the toothbrush and the liquid over here, I've been also trying to see if I can fix it. So the cannon was fused in place. It had been glued down. So I so gently popped it free. And now I have a full rotation on the gun again. And then I can glue this piece back where it goes. And then I now have a working gun. And so the glue that froze it in place and the primer has been fixed. So I'll keep working on this, and then once all the primer's where I want it to be and I can reprime it, I will have a movable turret right here, which I'm very happy about. I also figured out, knocked off one of these things, and I was able to see the inside, and then I was able to get the door working again too. So very happy to see the door works. Ironically, on this one, the door works the best. On the other two purple ones, not so much. And so I did manage to get one of the purple doors open, but not all of them. And this one still has the antenna. And then for the middle bit, I have the little cockpit, so I'll have to get a guy looking out the top. So eventually that'll be something to do here. So this just needs at least another batch of primer remover. But one of the feet fell off, you'll see. It's still in really rough shape. But primer's coming off. It's getting back together. So that's the state of this white lot. And then the rest of the purple guys, I have found all the purple guys have other colors underneath. And so it's actually really fun right now because there is multiple lots. And so there are secret paint jobs under a lot of these. One or two of them, like this guy, was actually really well painted as I was scrubbing it off. And so I am super interested to see what else is under all these purple paint jobs. Here's the other piece. I have not decided what paint scheme to go for this army yet. I like so many of the paint schemes. I was thinking about doing the white and the purple and the green. I do have some Pathfinders. When I very first started in Warhammer, I bought the Chalnath backs for Christmas that very first year. So these, and I'll highlight them a little bit better later, these were some of the very first models I painted, and I did like a chrome base for them. But these guys, you'll see, are painted in the purple, the green, and the white with black pants. And so they're okay. I like them. I don't think I want to do an entire army in this paint scheme, though. These are an early paint scheme. I don't think I'm going to repaint them since they're kind of commandos. They'll be their own paint scheme. But I'm debating right now, do I really want all my Tau in the same paint scheme? And then as I looked at paint schemes, I've gone back and forth and back and forth. Do I want to do a camo paint scheme? Do I want to do an old school paint scheme? Do I want to do a blue paint scheme or red paint scheme? I think right now I'm leaning towards classic desert orange colors. Go for that old school Tau look that you don't see as much anymore. The white, it's cool, but it's a lot of edge highlighting and it really picks out any mistakes. But I feel like that old school orange paint scheme might be really fun to recreate. That said, I was thinking about basing them with this Sakura basing that I saw online. I haven't bought it yet. that looks really cool. But I might use that just for my Lumineth army and then do a different basing, like a sand or a desert basing, because desert sounds really fun. So get a desert basing for these guys and then do them in that old school OG orange Tau look. So if you think that's a cool paint scheme, let me know in the comments what you think I should do. I'm kind of thinking old school right now. I like that thought. So been experimenting with that. And then 2 other things for this video. I'm going to move these guys all to the side here. I have this guy. And I've already asked on Reddit once, and shout out to any of you from Reddit. I asked and said, hey, what are the drones? And I was able to get some help with some drones. But this guy right here, I can't tell what he's doing. This weapon on his back looks like it's from something else and maybe not originally supposed to be an arm mounted. So I'm looking at it real closely. Like, was it cut down exactly and glued on here? Or is this weapon supposed to be? So it kind of looks like a flamethrower or a melt-a-gun. Maybe a melt-a-gun, but I'm not sure. So holding it up so you can get a good angle here. If you recognize this weapon, let me know what it is. The other piece, my gut tells me, just a second here. Yep, there are magnets on this guy's arm. So the reason this guy doesn't have arms is because something was magnetized. So I'm trying to figure out what in the world was this guy holding that was magnetized. Surely, because this has a tiny magnet, surely it wasn't this thing. Nah, this is too silly. It wasn't this. But he had a magnetized weapon. I don't know where the magnetized weapons went. He's his funny bat gun, and so I might be able to kit bash him some proper weapons off of some of these other bits and vehicles. And then I do have the original Kill Team Pathfinder bit, so I have some extra bits in that box I need to dig up. I haven't dug them up yet, but I'll be trying to figure out what to turn this guy in. But this guy is one of my crisis suits, I want to say. I think this is a crisis suit. You guys can help me identify that. But the rest of them I threw into the isopropic slurry, and so they've been slurrying, and I figured it would be really fun to reveal what's in this little Tupperware of craziness on camera. So let me grab some paper towels before I make a big mess, and then you guys can be with me as I open this box. Now, to be clear, everything that went into the tub was purple prime, but we know there's some other colors under here. So I want to show you and document for posterity what's in the tub that has now turned black. In the black soup, we have, all right, here is, whoa, did you see that? This was purple, and then I brushed my finger on it, and it changed colors. Wow, all right, so here's another one of these Chunky Boy Crisis suits. This one does not have a magnet shoved in his arm, I don't think. Let me check. Oh, no, there's a magnet there too. Okay, so these guys were magnetized at some point. Yep, there's the magnet underneath all that paint. Okay, yeah, there's some blue. There's a blue paint job in here. There's a purple paint job in here. Maybe a white paint job too. Wow. So yeah, this guy has been painted and repainted a bunch of times. And it was time for it all to come off so I can clean him up later. Wow. His face is changing colors with every brush stroke. So hopefully you guys can see that as well as I can see that. Let me see if I can get even more light. Get my desk light over here. This stuff stinks as all else. Ugh. Alright, I do have some decent ventilation. And then I have an air purifier in here. Whoa! His head just shifted. Alright. Yep. There's a mini under here. Alright. And it needs some more paper towels. Alright. And then I'm going to have a little staging area up here. So he needs some scrubbing. Who else is in here? This is what I'm most excited about. Again, this was purple when it went in. And now it is bright red. And so this guy, whoop, under the red, is a blue paint job. So this guy was purple. And before he was purple, he was red. And before he was red, he was blue. And if that's not the craziest thing, this towel has been used and used and used. This is like a... Whoa, there's the flight stand popping off finally. All right. Put some of that liquid on here. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. Just wonder how many former players has this one little guy served. He has fought in many battles, sat on many shelves, and now he's mine, and now his paint is all over my poor fingers. Wow, yeah. I need to get some fresh solution here. Should get some hot water and dip him in that too. Not too hot, you don't want to melt him, but wow. Just oop, his little antenna things keep busting off on me. Yep, I'm gonna have to glue that. Felt it break on me. Yeah. This stuff seems to loosen the glue just a little bit, but I'm trying to see if I can get down to whatever the original color was. Yeah, that's finally back to gray. Woof. He is eating into my hands. Yeah, this guy has been many colors. Look at that blue paint scheme. Look how good that looks. And then there's a red scheme underneath too. My goodness. Yeah, this guy needs to go under some running water, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go take this guy to the sink off camera. Wow. But look how cool that is. It's like archaeology over here. All right, buddy, how are you doing over here? There's our melt-a-gun guy. You have a big old melt-a-gun. Oh my goodness, you're getting my hands dirty. Oh my goodness. All right. Wow. Yeah. Under the purple, he has a... Yeah, this is the one that had the broken leg. We've got maybe a white and orange color scheme. Yep. Some really cool red highlights on that gun before they scrubbed right off. Yeah, oh, this stuff stinks so bad. Some black, a white paint scheme. So yeah, there was a white and orange paint scheme, and then a black paint scheme with some red accents, and then the purple was the last one. But there's all these paint schemes are coming back to life. All right, I have to figure out what all these weapons are too. So I was trying to look over all the Christ suits and what their weapons schemes are, and my goodness, it is complicated. Yep, here's another red one coming out. Oh my goodness. Come here, buddy. Come here. Yep. For a second, I thought that was a decal. Whoa, look. See how it's red? And underneath is that blue. Yep, there's a blue paint scheme right there under this red paint scheme. Yeah! Ha ha! Wow. Wow. I'm so surprised my voice cracked. I joke about that because that's come up many times in my life. I've had coworkers and classmates going back years who always joked that when something really surprises me, my voice cracks a little bit. I'm not very self-conscious anymore. I was when I was younger, but I like myself. I like who I am. I have lots of weird quirks. It doesn't bother me if people tease me a little bit because at the end of the day, I'm a fairly happy person, and I'm very grateful to be a happy person. I hope you are a happy person too. And part of that is realizing that other people's opinions don't really matter as much as they think they do. And they only matter as much as you really let them. Wow, I should have worn gloves. Now, speaking of that, I'm wondering if my coworkers are going to wonder what happened to my fingers tomorrow. Ooh, look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's coming out with a mad set of colors too. Ooh, look at all the details popping. I can't wait to paint that. All right, red chest. Taking bets now. Red guy right here. Is he going to have blue underneath? No, he's a white one. I don't see any blue. He was white originally. Huh. Yep, no blue. This guy was originally a white one. He's got the giant gun. Okay, I'm not convinced that's an actually official weapon. That's not 3 weapons glued together. Man. And see, these are glued on, and some of the other ones are magnetized. I think there's more than one lot. There has to be. All right, I'm going to take these to the sink. I'll record the last couple guys coming out, and then we're going to take this to the sink, and I'm going to give these guys a good hose down. And wash my hands, too, here before bed. Ooh, all right. I want to say this is the other kind of gun. So this must be the other kind of crisis suit. There's at least 2 different I think there's 3 different kinds of crisis suits currently. Okay, so this one was a white one, but it looks like it had, there's a lot of black. So it was white and then black and blue and then purple. So yeah, 3 different paint schemes on this guy too. There's a rocket launcher piece. Okay, he's got the rocket launcher on him. So yeah, look, this is the white and black scheme. The other thing I'm wondering, did somebody use these models for test schemes? Were they testing schemes out and then used that to figure out what to do? Okay, yeah, here's one of the guys from the botch job. I wanted to soak him and see if I could get a little more off him. At the very least, the layers are coming off. And so it's thinning down enough to pop the details. And as long as the details are there, it's not such a big deal. If there's a little bit of primer, because I'm going to prime the thing again. But, yeah. Okay, he's looking better. He's not there yet. I'm going to want to try something else, because that's primer. That's not just regular paint. Anybody else in here? Hey, here's another guy. This is a guy who had a gun glued to his back, so I don't know what that's about, but that turns him into a to a specialty trooper, I guess. But see, this blue paint comes right out. Also, I think I'm finding I have a paper cut on my hand because I'm starting to feel a little twitch. So I'm getting alcohol and paint and a paper cut. That ain't good. But yeah, there he is underneath. See, this paint comes away crazy fast, which is good because a lot of the minis have this blue color. But you can see, crisp details on this guy. He's looking great. He's looking good. Didn't completely crumble to pieces. Not convinced he's built correctly, but hey, he looks pretty good. And I think I'll have to decide if I want to leave the extra rifle, because it is kind of silly that he's carrying a giant gun and then he's carrying a second giant gun that's the same giant gun into battle. That just feels a little silly to me. A little overkill there, buddy. Why do you have 2 guns that are identical? I mean, it's a fun idea, but I'm going to have to see if I can loosen that and take it off. Hey, here's another one of the Red Warriors. See? Red Warrior. He was underneath the purple. And let's grab him and see who else is under here. Red and black. Red and black. I hate, whoever painted these little tau symbols did such a good job. I hate wiping that off. Yep, this is black primed underneath. Okay, so this was black prime. And then a red scheme. And I'm seeing some blue on the feet for the skin tone. And then, yeah, then they were painting purple over that. Yeah, this one's not coming off near as well. The red's a little bit more stubborn. Let's see what else is in here. Is that it? Is that it? Is that it? Oh, nope. Somebody else is in here. Ah, it's another one of these botched white primers. Oh, this one doesn't have a head either. Yeah, you can tell this isopropic is just about done. Might still be useful, but I can't see through it anymore. Let's see. Whoa, he's coming loose. Look at that. There's all that gray. Look at that gray paint. Just what I wanted to see. Worst case, I soak these white guys for a couple days, and then I bet they'll come loose, but I'm always a little impatient. I was also trying to figure out what weapon systems I have, and I have entirely strike teams. I have nobody with like the shotgun-like style weapon. So I don't have any breachers. It's all this gun. So it's all pulse rifles. So it's going to be 6 squads of strike teams. Also, I originally thought that I had about 20-ish guys in there. Hey, I just found a loose magnet. You can see that. I thought I had about 20-ish guys, or 70-ish guys. Realistically, I think it's closer to 60. But I'm okay with that. I don't want to paint because if I use every single guy with a broken arm, I think I can get to 70, but I don't want to. There's a max of squads of 10. Of the infantry line, you can only have 6 squads, I think, in the current rules. And I don't want to go past that. I don't really want to paint 70 of these. And trying to kit bash them into breachers when I don't have the correct guns doesn't sound that fun. And this isn't an infantry army, at least not with the Tau. These Tau guys. The striker teams. 6 strike teams sounds like plenty of strike teams, and I will be sick of painting them by the time they're done. I have already painted, if you watched my last series, I painted 80 clan rats plus the leaders for 92 rats. If I painted 92 Rats. I want to be done painting rats. And I don't want to paint 92 Tau. But I think it actually works out close to that. So it's a lot of rats, and now it's a lot of Tau. Yeah, he's getting close. Look at that. All right. Yeah, I think this army actually is like bigger than the Skaven. I might be jinxing myself, honestly. Let's see. No, something is rattling around in here. I'm gonna have to get a. Ooh. You saw that, right? Hey, secret model. I also figured out there is one more metal mini of those old school, the old school metal stealth suits. I have 2 out of 3 of them. I'm missing one, which was kind of sad. And of course, it's the special weapons guy. But I have 2 of those little metal guys, so I'll have to decide what I want to do with them. If I want to sell them or kit bash them or give them away. Who knows? Haven't done them in the solution yet, so we'll see. Here we go. Who else is in here? Whoa. Little burst of purple right there. Hey, whoa, no. Oh! This is somebody's foot. Who knows if there's any other feet in here? Wow, this is just full of paint now. I think we're out of stuff, but I'm going to pour this out very carefully if and when I do. So, yep. All right. Well, we found at least 3 different paint schemes. We found some red guys, some blue guys, some black and white guys, and all these other guys. Thank you for hanging out and watching as I clean these minis. If you know, again, what this weapon is, leave it in the comments. Leave me a guess. If you have any preferences or thoughts on... Oh, I just realized I splattered this guy. That's funny. If you have any thoughts on what paint scheme I should use, let me know. I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards old school. If you want to see me paint them old school, definitely leave that in the comments as well, too. If you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and give me a subscribe or a like. I'd really appreciate it. You know, everybody's making videos these days about how much they're angry at the algorithm, and I try not to be angry at the algorithm, whatever, but you know how it is. Every little bit helps, especially when you're a small channel like I am. Looking forward to seeing how this poor, dirty old little mini guy is going to come to life. These guys are going to look so cool when I'm actually done with them, but they still have a long way to go, but I can't wait to see what these old minis are going to look like once I give them new life. So hopefully you'll stick around with me and stay around for the next video, and we'll see these sad little guys get a second chance to join the table and join the fight for the greater good. So thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye.